What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today I'm here with very sad news. Sad things are happening, and to cut straight to the point, the future Card Buddyfight trading card game has been cancelled. It has been officially announced today by Wossy, who are the makers of the game, that it's over. Here's what they said. Dear Buddy Fighters, thank you for your loving support over the past 6 years. It is with a heavy heart that we announce today the end of product releases for future Card Buddyfight. This decision was reached after monitoring the entire TCG market as a whole and assessing Buddyfight's place within such a competitive and niche market. The last releases will be Ace Ultimate Booster Pack Volume 6 Buddy Again, Volume 3 Beyond the Ages, and a special series alternative Volume 1 Buddy Ragnarok. Due to this discontinuation, the release date of Ace Ultimate Booster Pack Volume 6 Buddy Again Volume 3 Beyond the Ages has been pushed back to the 25th of September 2020 so that these products may be released on the same day. So essentially what we have here is them going, right, there's a few products left to come, we'll get them all out on the same day. A special series alternative Volume 1 Buddy Ragnarok will be sold as a complete set, consisting of a combination of cards from the last 2 Japanese products. Included in this set will be a special thank you card signed by Wossy Group founder Taki Kidani. Apologies for the pronunciation. Official tournaments and events, shop tournaments, customer and rule support, and defects and exchanges for future Card Buddyfight will continue as per normal until June the 30th, 2021. Once again, thank you for playing future Card Buddyfight. We appreciate what the community has done to grow the game and hope that everyone will continue to enjoy playing it until the end of support. So it's still slightly unsure as to exactly when the end of the road is going to be. In terms of releases, it's quite simple, 25th of September 2020, which is still 3 months away. So there are still new things coming, there are still new cards coming. So there is that as a consolation, and let's be clear about this, right? Whenever a trading card game ends, you know this is not a card game I particularly covered on this channel very much, but I cover many card games on this channel. I am a fan of card games generally. It is sad to me, ladies and gentlemen, it is extremely sad to me anytime a trading card game goes away. This one's been running for 6 years. There are people that have invested 6 years and countless money into actually playing this game and being competitive, and it's so sad when that goes away. Now, we are going to get another year of tournaments and events and things of that nature, so the game will still be around in an official capacity for a year. They say until the end of support. The implication seems to be that that will be June the 30th, 2021. And as I've said, that is extremely sad. Anytime a card game goes away, it sucks. But at least there is more releases to come in a year's worth of tournaments. I am not in any way, shape or form saying that that is okay, or that that makes it all right, or that it's a good consolation. All I can tell you is it sucks. And anyone that does play this game and has invested in it, you have my sympathy. I have yet to have a trading card game that I play really regularly go away. Star Wars Destiny did, more on that in a moment, but that was as I was getting into it, so I couldn't claim to be a real core part of the player base at that stage. But it is inevitably going to happen at some point, and when it does, that is going to be a horrible day. In terms of the game as a whole, it did officially launch on January the 24th, 2014. It did actually have an anime adaptation which started airing in January 2014, but it was brought to an end in April 2019. Now, it does continue in the monthly manga Besatsu Korokoro comic special, so it is still going on in that regard, but again, that's not a particularly good sign, unfortunately, when the anime associated with a card game like this does go away. The thing is, if we start to dig into how well the game was doing, there were warning signs. Now, Wossy basically make 3 card games, at least 3 moderately successful card games. We got Buddyfight, we got Card Fight Vanguard, and we got Vice Schwartz. Now, if we take a look at ICV2, they do a list of the top 10 collectible games, and this list isn't perfect, but it is the best we've got in terms of a bestsellers list for trading card games and collectible card games, so it really is the best we can look at. And if we take a look at Fall 2019, which is the most recent list that has been published, we can see that you've got the big ones, Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh! And they are... I would be stunned to see any of those 3 games go away any time in the near future. Those games are absolute powerhouses. They make a huge amount of money. And you shouldn't expect to see anything going on with those games other than continued success. What about the others? And the thing is, if we look at the other games on here, they're all doing fairly well. You've got Keyforge, which, okay, slipped down to 7, but still doing all right. Transformers slipped down to 9, and Dragon Ball Super down to 8. But all of these card games are having new releases and seem to be chugging along really quite nicely. And you'll notice that the other 2 Bushiroad properties are on this list. Vanguard's coming in at number 6, Vice Schwartz is coming in at number 10. But Buddyfight is nowhere to be seen on here. And if we look back through the years all the way to 2014, I'm not going to show you all the tables. I'm afraid you're going to have to take my word for this one. It's not on there. And we see that Vanguard is, and we see that Vice Schwartz is, and we see that this isn't. And that's a bit of a problem. When you are a company like Bushiroad, who are publishing 3 games, and 2 of them are pretty gosh darn successful, and 1 is significantly less successful, there are concerns that need to be had there. And 6 years is pretty good in that regard. To have a game that's not selling like a top 10 game to last for 6 years is good. That is something to be excited about and proud about. Having said that, there are games that aren't on the list which do fine. The Final Fantasy trading card game does really jump in for me as a card which is just not on the top 10 seller list ever that does well. But it is very much the exception rather than the rule. We're not given an explicit reason for the cancellation when we look in the press release here, but essentially, I mean, what they say is, after monitoring the entire TCG market as a whole and assessing Buddyfight's place within such a competitive and niche market, I've been teaching business for 13 years at this stage, and essentially what that means is we're sorry it didn't sell well enough. We've got other games that are selling well enough that it is worth carrying on and putting time, energy, money, and resources into. And as much as some of you guys love this game, and we're really sorry to say it, this game is no longer financially viable, and it's gone. Is it because of COVID-19? No. The fact of the matter is, when COVID hits, everybody takes a hit. All trading card games see sales fall. Tournaments don't happen. Interest generally falls as people turn to hobbies that they actually can do, whereas going out and playing trading card games is something that they just can't do anymore. But if this was a COVID-19 thing, every trading card game would be on the ropes, and that's just not true. Unfortunately, when things like this happen, the weaker card games are the ones that start to fall. Did this hasten it? Quite possibly. It may well be that Bushiroad had to look and go, you know what? We got 3 games, sales are down, money's down, revenue as we call it in business. We need to figure something out here, and maybe that hastened it. But I really don't believe this is just a case of, oh, COVID killed the game. I don't think that's a fair assumption to make. The fact of the matter is, this was a 3rd place game from a niche company, one that was not doing spectacularly well, and unfortunately, these kind of things happen. Can we read anything into the fact that they did officially cancel their championship series because of COVID-19? And incidentally, that was expressly because of it. No, unfortunately. That is very much just something that's happened, and that has happened to basically all games. The fact that they are planning to support the game until next June does still give them plenty of time to run some more make-up tournaments in the future, though obviously the number of those, especially with COVID-19 still going on, is very, very much up in the air. And finally, what can we read into the fact that we saw Star Wars Destiny going away? I mean, that was only 5 months ago that game got cancelled. What can we read into it? Nothing. These games do exist on their own. And look, here's the thing. When we look at these games, they are a niche market. There are only so many TCG players. Yes, obviously they do eat into each other's sales a little bit. It just means that weaker games will unfortunately over time get picked off. Star Wars Destiny, there's a lot of talk about the dice being too expensive and awkward, etc. But I feel extremely confident saying that if Star Wars Destiny was selling at the rate of Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon or Magic, they would have found a way to make the dice thing work. I do think it's very, very important at this stage just to say, I'm really sorry to all the people that play this game regularly. You have my sympathy. This sucks. This is horrible. I hate that this is happening to you. I hate that you've got to see a game you love go by the wayside, and you do have my sympathy. My Twitter handle's at the Wossy. If you want to chat, hit me up on Twitter. I'm there like all the time. It sucks, and I'm sorry, and you have my condolences. And this is a big story in the TCG world, so I did want to address it in the video, and I have tried to look at it as a TCG player, as a business teacher, and try and explain what's going on. And it sucks. And I obviously take no pleasure, and I don't think anybody does. But I did just want to, at the end of this video, just tell you guys that you have my sympathy, and this sucks, and I'm sorry. Hey-ho. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, these things do happen. Card games do come and go. There will be new card games in the future, and this is not the last card game we're ever going to talk about on this channel that has gone away. Not that ever makes it any easier or more fun. If you want to share your stories about the game, please let me know in the comment section and we can have a chat down there. But as always, by far the most important thing is always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross and you've been watching Wossy Plays.